Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. It is SLR. We're back. It's round 9, season 20, the business end of the season. And look at your screens, ladies and gentlemen. Wet weather. Before we get to the session, let's introduce my fellow commentator, Icewind. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, everybody, and good evening, Chief. Doing all right this evening. And we have a full wet qualifying session, it seems, here at Brazil. Not completely atypical, I guess, for this race. We'll see whether this is inters or wets. At the moment, I think the game is suggesting wets for everybody. But yeah, it should be an interesting last two races of the season. The championship is still, I would still say, wide open for let's say both the championship and the third slot as well. So Christian is leading Perseguili by about 17 points. So that's still all to play for. And we saw 2 races ago that Christian is not, let's say, completely invulnerable either. So he had a 0 race in what was it, Jeddah, right? So
Yep.
we'll see how that goes. And then on the constructor side, Ferrari is leading by 16 points ahead of McLaren, and McLaren about 19 points ahead of Red Bull. So that's the situation there. I think technically still Red Bull could even be champions at the end of this, but I guess that would take some kind of a miracle for them. But yeah, wet qualifying session, and we'll see who can we pick up. I guess HRC is once again the first guy on track here. So we'll see what this looks like on board with HRC for the first hot lap of this session, and it is raining quite hard. He's on the full wet tires, no DRS of course for this session since it is full wets, and we'll see what kind of grip he can find on this lap. But pretty difficult braking zone into turn 1. You want to keep it on the left hand side to get a good run through turn 2, and yeah, it's very slippy as we can see on board with HRC. He's picking up the throttle though, and on to the second. Would be a DRS straight if it was dry conditions, but right now we're gonna keep the rear wing closed, and then through turn 4 and 5, and there is Red Bull off the track ahead of him, but I guess he's just getting out of the way. Then the uphill double apex Ferragira, and HRC basically just sliding through here, and he's hanging onto the car. It's a bit of a drift version of F1 this session, it seems. Through turn 9, up the hill once again to turn 10, another difficult braking zone where you have to try to brake in a straight line, pick up the throttle once again. This should be easy flat out in if the weather was dry, but HRC has to really fight the rear of the car onto basically the final real corner on the track, turn 12, and then accelerating through 13 and 14 on top of the hill, and then 15 here, easy flat out even in these conditions, and it's a 121.4 for HRC, and that's the first timed lap of the session for us.
Yeah, Ice, and I'm noticing on the board, as you can see yourself, a lot of guys going for those inter runs initially, so we saw how much HRC was struggling there, so I'm picking up McAnder here, who's in Sector 2 currently. It doesn't look too bad, actually, on these inters.
Yeah, I think that's the funny thing about this game, that it's very, like, extremely rarely full wet weather, and McAnder is really just drifting through that corner there. Julian also sets a time on the board, 26.9 ahead of McAnder, and let's see what McAnder can do. He's blasting the battery down, or up the hill rather here. Pep Man takes provisional pole, 21.3, and McAnder goes only 3rd on those inters.
Max as well on the inters, about to set his time. He is a pretty rapid guy in quali and race, and he's about to cross the line there. Let's see what he has. P3, just pipping McAnder for now. Or sorry, now P4, as someone had pipped him actually. That was Christian on the wets, taking pole, 21.311 for him. So it looks like wets are the best tire, but it might actually be pretty close at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it's very close, because Pep Man set that time on inters, and he was only 100th of a second slower than Christian there, so probably a kind of a split between those tires. Inter's probably toward the end might be faster unless it's really gonna start raining even harder. But at least on riding on board with Christian here, the rain is very hard here. I think a lot of drivers might go for a second lap on these tires here.
Yeah.
Usually the wet weather tires or Inters or the wets don't really wear so much. And I think most of the first runs are done. I think Flash is about to cross the line. He's about the same split as Mex was just before him, and he goes just behind Mex actually by a few 100ths of a second. So kind of a surprising order of drivers after the first run. So how is he up to P3 after the first runs?
Oh, Touche takes it up on his second run on those tires. Yeah, he's on the wet tires. Jursey, 21 flat. So the track is improving, but yeah, I think these wet tires are the ones to be on right now. Just a little bit more grip is offered. And yeah, Maradona, he's a reserve today. He is formerly known as Jenab. He's currently P11. And a couple of drivers yet to get a time on the board. It's the two Lars at the back.
Yep, I think Lars is about to cross the line and get a time on the board, and it will be a 1:25.2, and he's about a 10th behind Julian with that attempt. And then there's only Larson who is yet to set a time on in this session.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of drivers in the midfield section here. Mercedes pulling out of the way there. Christian is about to enter sector 3. And yeah, Pat Madman 20.6. That is quite the improvement. That's on Inter's ice. So is this the crossover point? Are Inter's now the tire to be on?
Yeah, I think we got that information in the chat that the Inters will be the faster tire, actually are already. So I'm expecting most of these drivers to swap to Inters for the rest of the session. And riding on board with Lars here, it is definitely raining quite a bit less there. Although Christian on those wets take that provisional pole again, so yeah, maybe it's not that clear cut.
It looks like Bailey Thompson's run out of fuel on his in lap, so thankfully not too far away from the pits, able to come in. And it looks like, yeah, Inters are the tires to go for, so we'll see the board light up with greens, as it is almost all green at the minute. A few drivers still to make their way back into the pits, and Larson, the only driver not to put a time on the board, so he's staying dry in the pits for some reason.
Some information in the chat in the background that it should not not rain in the race. The race should be dry.
Oh, good.
And we'll see how this session goes. Well, I'm expecting the track to ramp up rapidly toward the end of the session. Kind of always happens in these wet weather sessions. And yeah, riding on board with Hawarsi here, it's definitely raining quite a bit less as McKender takes provisional pole, and he's already on the 4th lap on those Inter tires. So
yeah, and I'm looking at the Mercedes of Max here, guys. He looks like he might take pole here. He was 1.6 up in sector 2 as he crossed the line into sector 3. It looks like, yeah, he's going to take pole 19.6. That's on Inters. Yep, Inters are the tire to be on right now.
Yeah, Chief Hawarsi actually coming across the line, and he might snatch it away from him by 2/100th of a second. So Hawarsi in great pace in this qualifying session so far. Let's see if he can keep it up toward the end of this session.
Oh, Maradona struggling. Oh, and he's going to get blocked. Who is that? That might be Julian and the Red Bull. The V Corp, sorry. Yep. Looks like he has blocked him, but Julian on an out lap, so no real damage done there. Trying to see who else is on it. I think Percy Gilly might be the next guy across the line, yeah.
Yeah, and Percy Gilly is in the championship fight with Christian here, so he needs definitely needs a better time than he has on the board right now. Pep Mapman goes P1 at this stage, so judging by this, we might get some interesting qualifying results for this race. If it keeps up like this, Percy Gilly 2.3 seconds up on his time, and that would put him on provisional pole if he can keep it up in the final sector. plenty of battery to deploy it toward the line. Persegili across the line. Let's see, does he go P1? Yes, he does indeed by about 4/10 ahead of Pep Matman. 18.8, so the track is definitely ramping up very quickly.
Indeed, yeah. And this is a very important qualifying for Persegili, so he does need to pull his finger out, although he is very fast, even on his worst days. But that pull is going to be super important if he can bag it today in terms of the championship standings. Yeah, Flash as well. Conigliato Flash. I'll just call him Flash. P5 currently.
Yep.
In the Aston Martin. So Aston running very well this season, I have to say. And I think Maradona got himself up to P5 there. So as he goes sideways into turn 1.
Yep. X-Horse into sector 2, 1.7 seconds up, so he's gonna also put himself somewhere in the top 3 probably on this lap. As he charges toward the line. And let's see what it is. It's a 19 or an 18. It's an 18.8, so X-Horse goes P2.
Nicely done, nicely done. So is this going to be a case of who gets across the line last? Yeah, seems that way.
Yeah, it could be. Because I'm looking that I think the rain is getting lighter by the minute, and Bailey Thompson and Hawarsi instantly picks it up from him. Where is this pace from Hawarsi coming from? He's definitely was not in my books that he would be fighting for the top positions here today. Touge goes P2 as well. Touge a bit of a wet weather merchant as well from my experience. I recall at least some Hungary race where it was raining and he basically completely dominated that race back in, let's say, a year or 2 ago.
We have 2 I think Christian's on a lap if I'm not mistaken, but I've also got Persegili just ahead of Christian on the map there, who is on a lap. He's just started his second run on these tires, and going to be a very interesting quali here. 5 minutes and a half left, plenty of time on the board. Persegili just trying to keep that rear end under control, keep the inputs as smooth as possible. You can see the back end just wanting to get loose there. Tentative through the hairpins here, but he's into sector 3. Only 1 corner's left. How's he going to do here as he feeds the wheel? Nice smooth inputs there, and then kind of have to throw it into this last corner. Catches the curb a little bit there, and on the par as best he can. 80% ERS to play with here, Ice. This is going to be an important one, and Christian right behind.
Yeah, Christian a couple of tenths ahead of him, behind him. Persegili goes P1, and let's see, Christian probably snatches it away from him instantly. Yes, he does by 3/10. So that was about what you were able to see through the split sector times. So 17.5 for the provisional pole, and we still have 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, plenty of time. What do you reckon the top guys are going to do now? Is it time to pit and put on fresh tires for the final run?
Yeah, I would expect a lot of these guys to pick up fresh rubber for the final run, and they don't have a lot of time to do that though, so basically it's back in and instantly out again to be able to do another lap.
X-Orse on a run here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be good enough for pole. He's almost a second up in his time. Back end getting very loose, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty close to Christian though on that split there, so let's see what he can do. And it's a 17.9, so he goes third. Sauber's in P3 and 4.
Nicely done, yeah. We're not used to seeing them up so high in the rankings, but that all may change as we're heading into the business end of quali. And Pep Maman looks like he's on a lap here. Yep, he is in sector 2. We should get a split coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, the rear end of the car just wants to overtake the front there, just sliding through Ferradura, the double apex right-hander. Up the hill, Pep Man through turn 10. Really flicks it in. And the rear seems to stick this time around, and fighting through turn 11. 1.8 seconds up. He's actually, this is clearly provisional pole pace, by the way, because he was about 4/10 up on Persegilian X-Horse, so let's see if Pepman can snatch it away from Christian on this lap. And across the line it is, and I think he will do it. It's a 17-2.
Nicely done from the guy in the Aston Martin. His teammate will see that. It'll encourage him further as he starts his lap. And that man is Flash. But I'm going to look at Julian.
Ooh, yeah. Yep.
Also Maradona on a lap.
Yeah, he's really fighting the car there. Let's see what the clock thinks about that slide.
Yeah, Julian has involved his run, so I'm watching Maradona right now. Ooh, just about kept it in bounds there.
Oh, yeah, and he's really struggling to keep the rear end in check, but this should still be somewhere in P4, P5 territory if he can keep the final sector together. It's a 17-4, so he goes P2 even, so a very good final sector, regardless of those slides.
Yeah, and is Pep Man on another run here? I think he is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's using ERS up the hill.
Oh
my
word! And that was that again.
Julian.
Yeah, so that's
Oh, 5 grid penalty. Oh no.
Yeah, that's a slam dunk penalty if that gets reported, unfortunately. So Julian will still have to learn a little bit. And Pep Man.
Flash going P2.
Wiggling around in frustration because his qualifying is done now. He was 4/10 up, so would have been able to improve quite a bit there.
Yeah, everybody out, it looks like, apart from 2, Julian and Larson both in the pits, but Pep Man obviously had to pit as well there. Everyone else either on the out lap or on a lap right now. RRC looks like he's a lot of ERS coming out of the final corner, over almost 100%. As he blasted all the way to the line. Is this a
starting? Yeah, I think he's starting a lap. Maybe this was it was a lap, but I think he had abandoned that toward the end of the lap there, so he will try again.
Interesting. Okay. So we do have Christian about to start his lap and Persegili. This time it's the reverse order. Christian leading the way. Persegili about to start his lap right behind. This is going to get very interesting. It's 24 seconds on the clock, so this is the last run for everybody. And Christian navigating his way through turn 1, turn 2. John waits, joins, Larson retires.
Oh, nice. 16th car in the grid. That's good.
Ooh, big improvement from Christian already. That's 0.374 for him.
Yeah, and that's purple sector 1, I think, for Christian. And we'll see what the rest of them can do. Mackinder at least behind him. I'm checking 19-0, so Mackinder is even faster in sector 1.
Yeah, the Ferrari's looking good actually.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check who is like furthest ahead. Kevin takes P1 by 16.9, but I think this might still go a lot faster once everybody is crossed the line. And Christian coming to Hawarsi picks up pole by actually quite a margin, 1.6 seconds. Christian is 2 seconds up on his time, so he should be able to take this away from Hawarsi, but he is not too far up on Hawarsi. Maradona goes second, and Christian going across the line as Mex goes P2. In the meanwhile, Christian does take it away from Hawarsi, but only by about 3/10, and then we have Mackinder at least still to come. I'm not sure if there's somebody else. I think Touge ahead of him. Let's see what the 2 Ferrari boys can do. Across the line, Touge ahead of him goes P2, and then Mackinder across the line. Mackinder only 6th, so not a great final sector for Mackinder. And X-Horse picks up pole position here.
Wow, what a performance from him. What a lap of the gods from him. Persegili invalidated his last run ice. He was massively up in his time.
Disaster.
But yeah, that is disaster. Look at him, P12. That will be his starting position for this race. And yeah, what a qualifying performance from X-Horse. Sauber on the top spot for a change. Christian
and his teammate as well.
Yeah, P5. Great stuff.
And a very interesting grid if you look at this. Some unexpected names at the front. So X-Horse on pole, definitely a big surprise. He's 10th faster than Christian today. Then Touge in P3, also usually not really been all the way on the front 2 rows of the grid. And then some more familiar names, Bailey Thompson, and then Hawarsi in P5 as well. So Very interesting grid for the race, and it is, according to my information, gonna be a dry race. And I think Pepman would have also been up there if he didn't invalidate that, or that crash on the final lap, not invalidate, but had that incident with the RB. But yeah, there we have it. 2 drivers without a time. Larson didn't really even go on track, so I wonder if he's some kind of a technical issue there. But X-Horse, Christian, Touche, Bailey, HowRCMX, Mackinder, Maradona, Coniglietto, Flash, and Kevin, the top 10 in this session, and Persigile only 12, as you mentioned. So he's got his work cut out for him for the race.
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it, for Persigile? I mean, obviously we'll be devastated with that, but hoping to make up some positions in the race. It's going to be tough though from that far back, and we are in the session now. Sun is blazing, so it looks like it will be indeed a dry session.
And the interesting thing here, I think, is that I wonder if those guys, I didn't really pay attention to that enough, that what was the top speeds of those drivers, that did some people have a little bit more downforce for that qualifying session, and maybe they will pay the price in the actual race here, because I know for a fact that a lot of guys were planning to go quite low wings for this race. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, I'm expecting a pretty good race. Brazil always seems to deliver. I just want to take a moment to get to our chat. We've got the regulars in there, Bob and Kit for now. So hello to both. I think Kit is doing his usual gig of engineering Persigile, so not sure what exactly he'll be telling Persigile right now, but he's going to have to come out with some mega strategy to outplay Christian in this one. But yeah, X-Jersey leads the formation lap. Not usual that we see as Sauber in P1, but here we go.
Bob, are you feeling alright? You're like all business today in chat. Just thinking about last week. I think there was some wild chat last week, but yeah.
He's cooking.
I was asking, are you doing all right? Because you're all business in chat today and not. I don't know what's the word. Anyway, formation lap. Let's take a look at the tire strats. So top 9 on mediums, Kevin on softs. That's daring, I would say, because to my knowledge, those tires are not gonna last for many laps at all. Persigile, of course, a little bit out of position. I think he gained 1 position because of that penalty that Pepman and Julian got for crashing into each other in the qualifying session. So Persigile starts 11th on hard tires, so he's choosing to go on that contrast strategy. And if there's a safety car, for example, later on, maybe that will do something interesting for him. But well, I'm expecting this to be a one-stop race still.
Yeah, and Persigile being that far back, he is a risk, isn't he? If there's any incidents in the midfield, he has to navigate his way through that. So that's going to be a bit dangerous on these opening laps, as drivers have made their way to the grid. Julian will be the last guy to take his grid spot up, and we are about to get underway. Round 9, Season 20. The title's on the line. Christian and Persigile are going to go for it, but X-Jersey's going to lead the way. Ice, take it away.
Yep, and we are about to get underway. Penultimate race of the season, and waiting for the lights to come up, which they slowly start to do. 4 lights, 5 lights are up, and we are go for round 9 here in Brazil. And it looked like X-Horse didn't really get the best of launches off the line, and I think Christian is already challenging him into turn 1 on the inside, and also Touche trying to find a way on the inside there through to P2, but he doesn't quite make it. 2 stays third. Also Bailey Thompson held his position. Mackinder behind him didn't really have anywhere to go. Once again got a great start, but didn't really have anywhere to go into turn 1. So Mackinder looking to get past Bailey Thompson there, but does not make it. But Christian leads the way, so he's got the perfect start here, and there's a lot of carnage in the background there. Persigile has picked up a couple of positions up to P9, so a good start for him on those hard tires.
Yeah, Brian, he's got past Kevin on those softs, so that's great. P9 for him on the hards, yeah. And there is something going on at the back. It's Pep, Madman and Waits, and we've also got Julian and Larson exchanging positions here, but it looks like Pep Madman and John Waits is going to go side by side for a bit longer here, as Pep Madman not willing to give this up too easy. John Waits finally takes that position, so that's lap 1 in the bag. Looks like everybody got away to a relatively clean start. Not seeing any damage from
Julian has
there.
damage.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Julian has damage at the back there. So I saw some bits flying there, but I wasn't really sure from which car that was. But that was Julian, I think. So he's down in 15th.
Yeah, Christian leading the way. Already 1.3 is the gap. Ex-Jersey behind him in P2. Touge P3, and yeah, Billy Thompson up to P4 there on that opening lap. So he's within sight of Christian, but as we've seen in previous races, you can't let Christian away too much in this opening stint. He's very hard to get back once he opens up that gap.
Yeah, and Christian knows this. This is his chance to really maybe secure the championship even today, because if Persigili is too far behind him, I'm not going to even get into the calculations for now, but if Persigili is too far behind him, Christian could secure the title here today.
Oh, Persigili getting overtaken.
Yeah, so the soft tires working for Kevin here, and I don't know if the Persigili made some sort of a mistake there, but he's down to P10. He's of course on those hard tires, so they're not going to be the fastest tire for the first few laps here, but they should go pretty long though. So we'll see how that goes. Christian leads by 1.6 seconds, and Touge is still unable to get past X-Horse, so they're kind of getting letting Christian get away with it for now here.
Yeah, but I think Touche is lining up for a move here on Ex-Jersey, the second straight. That's where you want to do the move, and yeah, Ex-Jersey has a lot of drivers behind him looking for that move as well, but Touge making it stick for now up to P2. 1.7 is the gap, and yet Billy Thompson is next in line, and he's very close. He tries to edge run outside. Oh my word, wheel on the dirt, and he's in the wall. Billy Thompson is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh my word. There we go, safety car, and that will be a big bonus for Persigili, I think.
What happened there? Was it like slight contact and then he just kind of lost it?
Yeah, he tried to go
slid a bit and then just went into the wall there.
Yeah, he tried to go around the outside. There wasn't really room, but he tried to shove his way into space. There wasn't really big enough for his car. A wheel got on the dirt, and at that speed, wasn't able to control the car then, and straight off into the wall he went. So you have to admire the audaciousness of the move, but it wasn't there for the taking today. But yeah, in terms of strategy, this is good for Kevin, is it not? On those
it is
softs, but I'm not sure if hards are going to get to the end from here.
Mex into the pit, so he wants to get rid of those medium tires. Also his his teammate Maradona. That's not great communication between the both of them, but probably they're not on VC together.
Yeah.
So I think Maradona is going to have to wait a little while here. Larson picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as does Julian. So yeah, the one guy who is probably not very happy with this is Christian, because he had got away and had dropped everybody else. And I'm a bit surprised to see those medium runners pit this early on, unless they now can go for maybe hard to the end from here. Maybe that's a good strategy. Because I don't think you can get the hards to the end from here. That's too much. 32 laps. That's not gonna happen. So maybe that's the ideal strat, that you can now, let's say, do hard stint from here and then another hard stint toward the end, and basically just forget about tire wear and send it all the way.
Yeah, and this is great news for Persigili. I mean, he's got 5 drivers ahead on those free lap old mediums. We're thinking the mediums probably will start. The hards will probably become the best tire on track here in a few laps time.
Yeah.
So if he can make some moves here in these next few laps, he will be gold, I think, and that will put him in contention for the win, hopefully. I'm sure Kit's trying to drum up on Persigili. It looked like he was going to pit there for a second, but he of course stays out. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting in terms of strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some intel in the chat there.
Hards will go with 60% at the end. So you could theoretically get the hards all the way to the end from here. Is it really? Okay. So the wear is very, very little if that's the case. Okay, maybe. Julian, for some reason, did not serve his 10-second penalty. Larsen did, so that was, of course, the sensible thing to do. Both of them sped into the pit lane. Well, let's see if Julian decides to do it on this lap. He still has time to do it before the safety car comes in.
Yeah, safety car probably going to be out for one more lap. Kid saying it's debatable if Arts can get to them, but
we'll be curious if they do.
Yeah, so it's very
Like
interesting.
A stint, 32 laps.
Got a bunch of drivers on varying strats. Some trying to get those new hards onto the end, to the end of the race. Medium runners out there will have to pit for a different set of tires, and then of course you got likes of Percy Gilly, John Waits, Pep Maban on those older hards, able to run a bit longer and then go onto those fresh mediums for the final stint of the race.
Yeah, maybe the guy to watch out here is Mex, who is now on those fresh hards, but then again he's in P11, so the field spread is even gonna be so as Julian pits and gets rid of his 10-second penalty, I guess, so as expected. So yeah, the field spread is gonna cause that Mex is gonna be quite far away from the front of the field, and even if the rest of them pit toward the end of the race, they will have fresh tires and probably catch him very quickly. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out, I guess. And not sure how long this safety car will actually stay on track. Larsen is about to catch the train, but then we have Julian who just pitted and got rid of his 10-second penalty, so don't remember if there's some sort of a limit as to how many laps the safety car will stay on track.
Yeah, and
it is the first safety car in a while, by the way.
Yeah, surprisingly, we didn't change the settings. It just happened naturally. I think there's been 2 safety cars all season then, including this one at Saudi and one here.
Maybe one thing to mention here is for Bailey, it's literally from 0 to 0 because we get safety car in this lap. So anyway, but from Bailey 0 to 0 because last week he won both the sprint and the race, and today complete disaster for him. Out of the race on lap 2, I think it was, and we will get underway on this lap. Let's see what Christian can do here now with a little bit worn mediums. And where does he decide to pick this up? Who's behind him trying to line him up for a possible overtake into turn 1? But there Christian goes, and he catches them napping a little bit behind him, and he is away and should be safe into turn 1. The Saubers behind him very close to each other, and then McKender trying to send it on the inside of Hawarsi into turn 1, and I think McKender picks up the first position there already and jumps to P4, so great restart for McKender, who is already through one Sauber and will now try to get ahead of the next one. Hawarsi doesn't want to give this up, he's deploying a little bit behind him, but is unable to do anything about it, so McKender up to P4.
Yeah, that was a great move from McKender, audacious, yeah. And
Sigili behind Hawarsi. Hawarsi made a bit of a hash out of that turn 4 there, but he's still hanging on to P5. Sorry, Chief.
No, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, the Cyber guys doing well to hold on to those positions, but yeah, they're coming under heavy attack from these fast boys. And McKender with a great move, I have to say. That was a very entertaining move. I want to watch that back, but I'm going to stick with the race for now. Christian's lead is now under control. Touche able to hang in there. 0.6 is the gap. But Jorsay falling a little bit behind here. May come under further pressure from McKender. He likes his turn 1 move. I think he's too far back for now, but maybe something's cooking for turn 4, I think it's called, is it? At the end of the second DRS.
Yeah, McKender gets a pretty good run through there, so is he gonna try something into turn 3? I think he's a bit too far away. Turn 4, sorry, I mean. So McKender stays fourth for now, and yeah, one thing I was about to say is Mex and Pep Matman fighting for P9 in the background. I think Pep Matman holds on to that position for now. Yeah, one thing what I wanted to say was there that X-Horse and Hawarsi, I think they're in a bit of a new position there, and especially looking at Hawarsi's driving, maybe the nerves are getting to him a little bit there, sliding a bit too much there. But yeah, he's these guys are not usually racing Makender, Christian, Touge, these guys, so exciting stuff for them. I think Hawarsi might be in danger of dropping out of DRS at this rate, but for now he will be still able to hang on.
Yeah, Max only able to make up one position, I believe, from the safety car restart there, but he is on these fresh hards. He is the lead runner, and he has Maradona and Kevin as well behind on those fresh hards, so we'll keep an eye on that group. And yeah, that double stack didn't hurt the Mercedes too much, actually, in the end.
And Hawarsi, I think, is out of DRS now of Makender. He's gonna get it for this straight still, but I think after that, Persigili is gonna look for a pass on the main straight here, because Hawarsi seems to be struggling to hang on to the pace of the Finnish trio ahead of him. Makender, X-Horse, and Touge are all Finns, and then Christian, the lone Dane, leading this race, but he's unable to run away with it this time with those little bit worn tires, so Touge is quite easily able to follow him for now. And Hawarsi in the middle sector has been able to claw that back a bit. Although, again, now as I say it, he's right on the fringes of hanging on to DRS and doesn't really get the best of exits out of that final corner, but Persigili is also too far back to really do anything about it on this straight, at least.
Yeah, Persigili really needs to get a move on RRC now. He doesn't want to lose contact with that lead pack, and yeah, RRC not getting the DRS this lap. I don't know if did he get it or no, he
didn't get it for this straight anymore. I think he was just a little bit too behind at the detection point, and now the problem for him is that he had to burn all of his battery to be able to try to hang on to that DRS train, and he's now completely out of battery, unlike Persigili behind him, who has about 60%. So I think Hawarsi should be easy pickings for Persigili on the main straight on this lap, as long as Persigili can just get a good run out of turn 12 onto the main straight.
There we go, Max up to P9. Oh, it's side by side, Pep Matman getting squeezed out there, and
stick this time.
Nice move, yeah, nice move. Persigili looking very close. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, Max on those a little bit fresher tires, but let's go back to Persigili. DRS wide open, and I think Hawarsi is defenseless here on the main straight as Persigili deploys a little bit of battery to get past him, and then he will try to charge after Makender.
Oh!
So there's
Pep Matman, yeah, going for a defensive move. I think he was trying to fight off Maradona into turn 1. Locking up the brakes there, but managing to hold that position.
Yeah, and there's now a quartet of Finns in the top 5, so Touge, X-Horse, Makender, Persigili, all Finnish boys. And Persigili, I think those hard tires are starting to pay off right about now, because he's completely caught up back to Makender here in the middle sector, and X-Horse, Hawarsi behind him actually dropping, so yeah, Hawarsi in a bit of a pickle here with those older mediums.
Yeah, those hards are kicking in at the right moment for Persigili. He's not able to get that 1 second gap under control, and now joins this lead pack. And we're going to start thinking about pit window for the medium runners, aren't we?
Yeah, Hawarsi, I think, is struggling really hard on those. Is he going to pit? I think he is. Yeah, he's driving into the pit lane, so Hawarsi, the first guy to pit off those mediums of this leading train, and Flash defending quite hard behind him from Waits, and Mex, who is trying to find a way past John Waits here, and they're both out of battery here, but Mex gets a good toe toward turn 4. He's on the inside there, but doesn't quite manage to outbrake John Waits until the middle of the corner, where he does just sail past him, so much better grip in those slightly fresher hard tires for Mex.
Yeah, great job
Up
from him.
P7.
Looks like John Wiss kind of left the door wide open for that move. Could have fought it a bit harder, I thought, but yeah, there we go. Max up to P7 on those hard, so keep an eye on those guys. Quite the gaggle of cars actually behind P6, isn't there?
Yeah, and this train is now 2.5 seconds behind the leading train. So where did Safarsi dropped all the way down to P15? So he's in clean air, and he went to mediums. He's on a two-stopper or something.
Max up to P6, eyes P into turn 1. Gets that move done pretty easily and gets a pretty decent gap coming out of turn 3 onto this DRS straight, so no comeback from Flash, I don't think, this time around. And John Waits getting overtaken again by Pet Madman. Oh, and there's side by side, it's contact. It's Maradona and John Waits, I believe. Bit of contact there, but seem to be okay for now.
Yeah, and Maradona does overtake him in the end there, so a little bit of tap and pass there. Didn't really see exactly what happened there, but they continue on their way. And maybe the interesting question here is that can Mex possibly catch up to the front, the 5 cars in front of him? He's 2.2 seconds behind him. He's got 3 lap fresher hards, and Persegilian in this middle sector at least, he's been able to catch up quite a lot by half a second. And nobody from the front runners pits on this occasion. Persegilian very close to McKender.
I thought he was going to go for something there, but almost contact with McKender there. That's Pet Madman up to P7.
I think there was a little contact.
Yeah, no damage to Persegilian, so he's going to have to hold off for now. He can't go for a move on this DRS straight. Everybody ahead of him has DRS, but he clearly has the better tires out of these top 5 guys. But he has to watch out. Mex and P6 on those fresher hards, looking pretty decent. 2.2 is the gap, and I'm seeing John Waits falling down the order even more on those old hards. He's P11. There's Kevin up to P10.
Yeah, Flash actually hanging on well on those old mediums in this this fight here. So Flash. Good pace once again. He's, I would say, if there is one guy I would pick in this, let's say, game cycle F125, he's the most improved driver I've seen in SLR, considering where he started when he joined the league.
Yeah, I mean, if we do season awards, I'm definitely voting for Aston Martin this season as the team of the season. From what I've seen so far, they've just worked very well together and scored great points throughout.
Yeah, and they're once again behind each other on contra strategies, so interesting to see how it plays out for them toward the end of the race. And okay, my game is somehow bugging out because it's saying yellow flag, but I don't think anything is happening. Okay, but we'll just ignore that for now, I guess. Who's really close to the back of Christian there. So Christian kind of backing the back up a bit here in the middle sector because they're really fighting the car. Tuja on the outside. Is Christian in the car or did he? What happened there?
Yeah, this is unlike Christian. Yeah, he might be having some technical issues. Is about to
again.
Oh yeah, again. There's Jersey up the inside.
I think Christian disconnected maybe because I was a bit like, how are they sending it on the inside there? That's no way. That's Christian.
Yeah, and Persegilian now past Christian as well. Oh my word, yeah, I think Christian's out. And we got someone in the pits as well. Dorsey and McKender. Yeah, this opens it wide open, doesn't it? Yeah, if you can try and say, yeah, he's saying Christian is AI. We're getting confirmed in chat there. So this is disaster for Christian. And he's getting overtaken by Max.
Another invite. Yeah, I did send him another invite, so hopefully he can get back into the race. But this is complete disaster for Christian, who was probably hoping to ensure or even solidify his lead and he's back in the game, but he's lost a lot of positions and a lot of time.
Yeah,
but at least he is back in the game.
He's lost contact with that lead pack, but some of them did pit, so he will be jumping back into the car and probably pitting this lap, I would say. And we'll know the damage then
Yeah.
once he comes out of the pits, but I think he's going to be quite a way away from the lead pack here. And yeah, if you're Percy Gilly, like obviously this is a great opportunity, but Percy Gilly still has to pit, and he has to figure out when he's going to pit as well. Touche as well,
Touche
leading.
will not pit this lap.
Ooh, and Percy
Okay.
Gilly going to, yeah, he goes for the move, takes P1, so Percy Gilly up into P1, and we do see, is that Christian? Christian's staying out, Ice?
Yeah, and he's checking. I think he's in the car. Yeah, he's in the car again, but he got overtaken by Pep Man on the main straight because those hards are definitely the better tire at this stage, so very unfortunate for Christian. That one flash pits and comes out quite a distance behind McKender and Hawarsi. And Hawarsi, the interesting thing is Hawarsi is actually ahead of McKender, but yeah, Hawarsi will still have to pit, of course. So that undercut is very strong. Because Hawarsi has done a medium so far, so yeah, he's on a two-stopper.
Yeah, Pep Man as well, leading a little group here in the midfield, P4, P5, P6, and 7.
Surely Touche will pit this lap. Yes, he does, so I was expecting. He was just about able to get DRS for that one. Straight there still, so Touche into the pit lane. It's interesting to see where does Touche and also Christian into the pits. Let's see where these guys come out in relation to McKender and X-Horse, who pitted 2 laps ago. And I think Touche will be considerably behind that duo, so he will not get DRS, I think, from these 2 guys, because he's now accelerating out of the pit lane, and X-Horse and McKender, okay, he's not too far behind, but he will have to push to get DRS here. 1.2 seconds, 1.5 seconds behind X-Horse on 2-lap pressure tires.
Christian coming out on P11 as well, Ice, right behind Flash, immediately puts him under pressure, but he's caught up with Flash here, he's come out behind Flash, and this is going to be a difficult one. I mean, you don't typically get an overtake done in this section of the track at the infield.
So Christian, if we look at him in comparison to McKender, Christian has lost about 9 seconds in that debacle with the disconnection. So that is going to be very difficult to catch up to for the remainder of this race. Touche 1.7 seconds behind X-Horse, who is fighting to stay in DRS with McKender. So McKender is really flying on these hard tires for now, and has DRS from Hawarsi ahead of him, and McKender really wants to clear him ASAP, and then maybe drop X-Horse in the middle sector here. McKender doesn't really get the best of exit out of turn 1, but he is burning battery, and he wants to get past X-Horse here, and Hawarsi here, Ben, he really has to do that as well. He is through, and then let's see if the Sauber driver behind him just makes way for his teammate, or is he gonna hold him up through the middle sector here?
Yeah, I said
X-Horse is not that close, I guess. So yeah,
I'm in a position here halfway into this race. I don't know who's going to win. What do you reckon? Who's in the strongest, position right now?
well, I think McKender is in a pretty good position right now, because I would expect all of those guys ahead of him will have to pit still, and Hawarsi still somehow hanging on to DRS. He's actually surprisingly good through the middle sector and been all the way in this race. Let's see. John Waits, I think, overtook Maradona there, and then McKender 8 seconds behind. So the hard runners, when do we expect them to pit? McKender sets the fastest lap of the race there.
Yeah, I think the hard runners probably in the next few laps. I mean, we saw those mediums go as far as 15 laps, 16 laps, and there is 16 laps left after this one, so maybe in the next few laps, Ice, we may expect Perfectly in. Sure, Kit is, compiling all the data and trying to pick that perfect window.
And it was so close for McKender to be able to drop X-Horse behind him, but X-Horse did hang on to that DRS, and he's now within 7/10, so I think he should be able to hang on to McKender here for now. And these guys, How far are they from the lead right now? 15 seconds. So Persigili, when he pits up onto those mediums, yeah, it's gonna be a tall order for him to get back into the lead of the race, and Mex just give up on that one-stopper idea, as we kind of expected, I guess, toward the end. Let's see, does he go for another set of hards here? I
Max in the
think it's
pits,
another
yeah.
set of hards for him, yeah. Yep. So Mex chose not to try that 32 lap stint on the hard tires.
Yep, on the
He
hards
will
he goes.
come out around Christian, I think. Here, Christian through turn 2 and 3, and then yeah, Mex is just behind Christian there on the few lap fresher tires. So yeah, Christian about 5 seconds away from Touge. Touge is kind of driving a race of his own at the moment. He's just out of DRS there. Lars retires in the pits.
You know, I do have some experience of this strategy that Persigili finds himself on, the hard medium, and he's staying out for another lap, yeah. So the mediums can be, you know, they're around a second a lap, sometimes over, faster than the hards at this point. So he will make big gains.
11.6, but I'm just checking, so he's losing about a second a lap to McKender at this moment. So he will really have to fly to be able to win this race from McKender or X-Horse.
Yeah, I think the pit window is going to be crucial for Persigili. I don't know what Kit's thinking right now, but last week Persigili stayed out a bit extra and it hurt his race big time. So I think Persigili might lean on Kit to make the call this time.
Yep. Persigili now the 22nd lap on these tires. So this could be where he plans to pit. I think the mediums, let's say the optimal way to run them would be something like 12, 13 laps, but I think you also have less fuel, so maybe the wear is going to be a little bit lesser, and I think Persigili, no, he's not coming into the pit lane. It looked a little bit like he might come in this lap, but he still continues another lap. 12.0 is the lap time, and I'm going to compare that to McKender, who is man pits there, so 12.0 on Persigili, and McKender across the line 10.5, so he's 1.5 seconds faster on that lap than Persigili.
And Jorsey continuing to hold on to McKender here, so he's doing a great job for the Sauber guys. RRC, his teammate, not doing so good at this phase of the race, P12, and he is back into the pits.
Yeah, he had to do this because he hadn't filled the tire rule, so not sure if this was planned or did he accidentally pit for another set of mediums there. But anyway, he's now he has filled the tire rule and he is down in 12th, and might be a tall order for him to get back into the points from there. We'll see how this turns out. Persigili waits definitely to pit. Maradona, I would expect also will pit here again.
Yeah, and look at Chad Ice. Kid saying 24 is the number.
Yeah, okay. So this lap we are expecting Persigili to pit. He's just gone past the pit entry. So that's exactly what I was kind of expecting there. The 12 lap stint to the end on the mediums. That's like the fastest way to go there. But he's really gonna have to fly because McKender is only 10 seconds away from the lead after this lap.
Yeah, 10.6 there from McKender on that lap, with Jorsey following very close behind into turn 1. Looked like he might be able to make a move here if he got a good run out of turn 2, 3. But it is not happening right now. I think Jorsey happy to stay behind for now. If he can stay within contact with McKender, he knows he's going to end up in a good position by the end of the race. But yeah, 24 is the lap number we've been told in chat. This is the one where Persigili pits.
It's gonna be somewhere in the region of Flash, I think, where Persigili comes out. Let's see, 22 seconds to Flash. Maradona ahead of McKender, really struggling to keep the car on the road, and I think McKender will get at least one DRS in this race now. in this second stint, and McKender will want to get this Mercedes out of his way quickly. And there he goes. So McKender will take P3 on track, and then X-Horse does follow him into turn 1, so also gets that move done. Persigili in the pits, and let's see, where does he come out? It will be ahead of Flash, I guess. It is just behind Christian and Mex, and he will be about see what it is when he comes out of the pit lane and the gap update. So he's about 9 seconds away from McKender, so that's the gap he needs to close in the last 12 laps.
Yep. This is hammer time for Persigili. This is like, if he's going to win this title, this will be the race where it's, you know, the crucial race. He needs to dial air, you know, get everything out of this car and these tires right now. 2.7 behind Christian, so the championship leader is right ahead of him. So it gives him a good visual target to aim for.
Yeah, and Persigili wants to get as many positions ahead of Christian as he possibly can to make the championship as tight as possible for the final race. He's now 2.3 seconds behind. Christian sees him ahead of him, and Maradona will pit now, and then we still have John Waits, who is now fighting McKender in turn 1. He doesn't really need to fight this too much because he's on so old tires, and he's held on to that, and he doesn't want to let X-Horse go here either, but I don't think there's anything he can do about it because those 25 lap hards have seen better days. So John Waits down to P3, and is he trying to go to the end from here or something? I don't know. No, he hasn't even pitted yet, has he?
Yeah, that's right.
No, he has not pitted yet.
He has
True.
yet to pit,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So he will definitely have to pit. Why did he take this so long? Fishing for a safety car or something?
Yeah,
Then Touche behind him now stuck there, and Persigili has really caught up to Christian much on this lap, and he's only 7 seconds away from the lead of the race. So this could still work out for Persigili, depending on how much these mediums drop toward the end of the race.
Yeah, didn't get DRS in the start finish rate, but will get it for the second straight. Persigili fast lap 9.606. That's what you want to see, isn't it? His first lap on these mediums, so he's got the pace. He's definitely got the pace there.
Yeah, and he is in DRS of Christian now in the middle sector. Christian with that disconnection issue is down to P5 now, and he's on also pretty old tires there. So let's see if he's able to put any fight against Christian, because it's also in against Persigili. I can't get the names right today, man. But yeah, Christian and Persigili fighting for the championship here today. So yeah, let's see what Christian can do here. I think there's not a lot he can do against these fresh mediums, though.
Yeah, but he's gonna, you know, if he can, he's gonna try and fight this move. But yeah, look at that, the grip that Persigili has. It's gonna be a tough one. Maybe, yeah, Persigili going to go for the move here. He's got a ERS engaged already. I thought he might hold back till the second straight, but he's gonna go for it here. And he probably, you know, this is a wise move. He will have the superior grip. Hopefully, build a gap as he comes out of turn 3. Although it's looking pretty tight from the overhead there.
It's only 5 seconds to the lead for Persigili as well. So he sees the cars ahead of him on going into turn 4. And that's the leader of the race that he saw entering turn 4 ahead of him. A few cars ahead of him there.
Yeah, and that does spur you on big time, doesn't it? When you can see the guys ahead the target has acquired. Christian will try desperately to hold on to the DRS off Persigili, because he's probably thinking Persigili's tires will be quite worn at the end of the race, and maybe he could try something then. But look at the gap, 0.9. He's about to fall out of DRS, and this is a crucial phase of this race for both these drivers. And he's outside the gap. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do against those fresh mediums, at least for those few laps. And Persigili 1.8 seconds now to Mex, who is the next car he's gonna line up. And Mex is almost into that leading train, by the way, with those slightly fresher hards he's on. So Mex could also be sort of an interesting name for the win of this race here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's on
I
5
see.
laps fresher hearts than Makander, who is leading the race route now, and also Tush has now caught up to the leading duo there. So have Makander and X-Horse maybe slightly run into run off the cliff on those tires now? I don't know.
Yeah, this is anybody's race at this point. Max could win, Persigilli, even Christian's got a shout in there, and McKender, of course, who is leading the way currently. George been holding on to that DRS and been doing a good job of keeping up with McKender. And of course, you got Touge there, who's a bit of a tire whisperer. He's also in the mix. So yeah, a lot of drivers can still win this race, and with 6 laps after this one to go.
And Persigilli's pace has not dropped at all on this lap. I'm just looking at the sector times there, so he's still just as fast in the middle sector there. So those mediums are still working wonders for him on this lap, and he is almost within the DRS. And this is going to be a 5 car DRS train, Chief, after this lap.
Yeah. And the question there is, you know, that's when it's hard to overtake, isn't it? Whenever everybody else ahead of you has got DRS, but Persigilli does have that grip advantage. He's on lap 5 of these mediums who still have, and he misses out on DRS there, didn't he?
He might still get it here in the middle sector. There's an RB ahead of Persigilli. Let's hope this is not gonna cause him any issues, and he runs into the back of him. I think he's lost a bit of his front wing. Oh no, this is a massive disaster for Persigilli. He's well, once again, I think that's Julian, unfortunately, again in this kind of situation. I don't know what he was doing hanging on directly on the racing line there. That was extremely clumsy of him, and it has really cost Persigilli the chance for the race win here.
Yeah, this is huge, and you know, Christian right behind Persigilli. That gap will be interesting. 1.92 seconds as he gets out of the way for Christian, but not Persigilli, unfortunately. And Persigilli with that front end plate missing. How much is that going to hurt his race?
Yeah, that is massive disaster, and that's not really what we want to see from. I mean, a new guy, and don't want to be too harsh, but yeah, if you're blue flagged, you should just get out of the way, especially if it's the cars fighting for the championship behind you. And Touge actually overtakes X-Horse there for P2. That's pretty interesting as well. But yeah, that was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And Persigilli.
Yes, I would say
clearly losing pace here. Yeah,
he's not picking up. He's not decreasing that gap ahead anymore, and that's what that damage will do, isn't it? You really need, like, some tracks you can get away with it, but I think this is one of those tracks where you need all your end plates and all your front wing intact.
Yep. Yeah, that's unfortunately a very big downforce loss on that front wing. He's still just about hanging on in there, and Christian is not really closing that gap too much behind him, but we still have 5 laps to go here, and those mediums will not get any better toward the end of the race, and he's of course not in DRS. Mex is really close to X-Horse here for P3.
Yeah, and he gets a good run out of turn 2 there on the turn 3. He's right on the back of X-Horse, and he's going to go for the move here. It's a battle of ERS at this point. Oh, and X-Horse braking a bit later, taking the outside line, the longer way around. Max taking that inside line and making it count. Great move there from Max up to P3. He's onto the podium.
And he is on 5 lap fresher tires than Makander, for example. So I don't know if the Ferrari boys can do some kind of teamwork here to keep him behind them. They're gonna struggle with that as Maradona picks up a penalty in the background there.
Oh, and Persigilli has closed in a little bit on this lead pack due to that, that battling ahead. So it's not all over for Persigilli, but yeah, every time they get onto the start-finish straight, they are going to increase that gap a little bit more. And Christian 1.9, so he has closed in the gap just slightly, but it's not enough here, and we're running out of laps here. 3 laps left after this one, nice.
Christian has closed that gap by about 2/10, but then again he lost another 2/10 on the straight there. I think that the only saving grace for Persigili here is that that will also give him a little bit more straight line speed, I think, when he's missing that bit of front wing. So let's see if I can somehow hang on to that P5 and finish ahead of Christian in this race. That would definitely send the championship into the final race in Abu Dhabi.
Pep Man gets
Pep
by his
Man,
teammate.
yeah. Yep. So the Aston Martin boys once again doing teamwork in P7 and 8.
Yeah, working well together. Yep, Brent, good to see. But let's go back up with this lead pack. Ferrari 1-2, Max on the fresher hards. He's got the best hards out of anyone in the top 4. And then you got Persigili with those fresh mediums, but with that front end plate damage. And Christian is closing in that gap, 1.7. It's just coming down, but is it too slow, too little, too late?
And I think the only thing here, only question is here: do the Ferrari boys race each other, or do they work together? Because I think Touche behind there can defend against Mex and keep the Ferrari in this 1-2 position, so maybe they're working together. Let's see. Mex is at least for now unable to really mount a challenge against these guys. Persigili is still within 1.7 seconds of this leading quartet, so he's doing really well to hang on to that P5 Christian slightly closing the gap, but we have only 2 laps to go after this one.
Yeah, I wonder if Christian even knows that Persigili has that damage. I'm sure if he heard that information, it would help spur him on a little bit. And Kit in chat is saying the front end plate damage to Persigili's car is quite severe, as it's impacted the balance of the car. So it's having quite the effect on the car, even though it looks visually small, the damage. Yeah, what's happening here, Rice?
Yeah, I'm just looking. I think the Ferrari boys are doing exactly what I was expecting them to maybe do, working together against Mex, who really closes up on the braking at the turn 1 there. But Touche has a lot of battery to defend with there. And let's see, do they want to change positions, the Ferrari boys here? No, they don't. I think Touche will stay in that P2 position, and they still have to do this for 1 more lap. Mex is really close here in the middle sector.
Yeah, very, very close at the top. Is penultimate lap. And I don't think McKenna's won a race this season. And a 1-2 for Ferrari would be huge for the constructors.
Yeah, and Mex understeering quite a bit on top of Ferradura there. And he's trying everything to find a gap there, but he has the problem for Mex here is that he doesn't really have a lot of battery to play with, and Touche, on the other hand, ahead of him does. So they might be still able to defend this. They still have 1 lap to go after this one. So we're starting the final lap of the race after here. Mex is once again deploying onto the main straight, but he kind of runs out of battery already here. And I think the Ferrari boys are gonna orchestrate this so that they change positions here. And McKender is maybe a little bit under pressure here, because McKender doesn't have a lot of battery to play with either behind Touche, but he gets a good enough run out of that corner, so I think he's safe from Mex, at least for this straight. Let's see if Mex can do something about this. In the middle sector, in the background there, Persigili Christian still
McKender!
So nothing happening there. McKender a little bit loose out of turn 4, but he's defending the inside, and Mex is unable to do anything about it. Is McKender gonna close the inside there, because Mex, I think, is having a look there, and McKender just about closes the door there. And McKender really under pressure here, and let's see if Touche will wait for him and give him DRS onto the main straight, because I think McKender will really need it if he wants to defend this from Mex. They both have pretty equal battery here, and it's only 2/10 between the 2 of them, and the final corner to go here. So do the Ferrari boys take 1-2 here? And it's going to be really close. I think they're going to, of course, burn all of their battery, but McKender might just about have this covered, because he gets DRS also right about now. And is he going to stay in second? He is. So Touche wins, McKender second. The first win for Touche, I think, this season. Mex finishes third. X-Horse, great finish for the Sauber team in fourth. Persigili hangs on to fifth with that front wing damage. He had the keys to winning this race without that front wing damage, but finishes fifth ahead of Christian in P6. Pep Man and Flash, the Italian duo, come home in 7 and 8, and then Wade and Kevin in P9 and 10. and Maradona is just 2/10 out of the points, outside the points in this race. Hawarsi in 12th, and he was also pretty close to the points to the end there, but unfortunately falls off the points in the end.
Yeah, what a race. I love that. That was a quality race there from the guys. Ferrari 1-2, you'd love to see it. Max again on the podium, but hasn't been able to secure a win in SLR just yet, even though he clearly has the pace to do so. Ex-Jorsey with one of his best performances I've ever seen in SLR, P4 for him. He did a stellar job keeping up with McKender in that second phase of the race, and just missing out on a podium today. But Percy Gilly, with that front wing damage, what could have been if that hadn't happened? And still the championship is alive still. His hopes are still there. Just about. Could have been much better though.
Yeah, and yeah, the Ferrari boys scoring a 1-2. I think that means that they have basically secured the constructors with this result, because McLaren with Christian gets only 8 points in P6, so the gap is going to be. Yeah, I think they have scored enough to secure the constructors today. But the drivers will go to the last race.
Yeah. That'll be very interesting. Abu Dhabi is round 10, the grand finale. I want to point out as well, Larson got fastest lap in that session, even though he didn't have the greatest race. P13 in the end, but 109.437 worth a shout out.
Yeah, so Larson has also had a difficult season. Finishes the race today at least. Done 4 pit stops in this race, but I think one of them was the extra pit stop with the speeding penalty he picked up behind the safety car. So yeah.
I think the next question on my lips is, will Tooge join us for an interview?
Hopefully.
I know McKender's not going to be joining us anytime soon.
Yeah, McKender's not going to do it, even if he, I don't know, if he wins the world championship. He would still not say a word to us.
Yeah, if Tipsy Bob can't convince him, I sure as hell can't. But let's bring in Max, who started the race in position. Help me out here, Max.
6.
P6 and ends the race in P3. Another podium. I was just saying on stream there though, that race win is being rather elusive in SLR for you, but you clearly have the pace for it. But today you had 2 red cars ahead of you that were pretty adamant that you weren't going to get by, even though it looked pretty good for you. You were on a really good strategy. So yeah, just tell us about your race.
From my PV, it was pure cinema this race. I didn't even care if it was the right or wrong strategy at the start to just pit under the safety car. It was the right strategy at the end, but I just want to have the fun race, and being on better tires the whole race is always just more fun than managing. So that's why I boxed under the safety car. It worked out, and it was really fun, the battles I had. Sadly, not enough straight line speed for the Ferraris in front, but P3.
Yeah, P3, that was a solid end to that race, and it was all yeah, it was all looking very spicy in that final phase because of Percy Gilly on those fresh mediums. But then he picked up that front wing damage, which kind of slowed down his run to the front of the field. So yeah, in the end, podium for you. I mean, we got to get a win by the end of the season. Abu Dhabi's next. What do you reckon? Can you take the flag there in P1 or?
I mean, the last time I raced Abu Dhabi last season, I was P2, I think, with a really close finish to P1. So maybe, but also at the same time, I don't know if I can drive actually next week. So not 100% certain if I can.
Okay. We do hope to see you there. I mean, was there any other interesting stuff in that race? We saw like you picked off a lot of guys on those fresher tires, but any other things that maybe we didn't pick up on stream, or any memorable moments for yourself?
I kicked Sauber, nearly ended my race in lap 1 in turn 2, as well as the Christian's AI just wheel hooking me. I don't know if you saw that. That's also interesting. But overall, I also made an overtake while completely losing the car under braking and almost smashing into someone, but still getting to the apex. That's it was really spicy, this one. But I think it was all fair from my part, so I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, it looked like good fun out there. Yeah, a lot of different strategies at play, and I always like those kind of races because you keeps you guessing. You don't know who's going to come out on top. But today it was the Ferrari. But yeah, you did a pretty good show, and I reckon if you were actually a full-time driver, you take more risks, and there may be a chance of you pushing for that one a bit. Increase your chances a little bit. But yeah, as a reserve driver, I can see that maybe you're just holding back a little bit, just not to get in the way of the full timers.
Actually, not really.
Okay, screw that then.
It's just my normal driving style being a bit more passive than aggressive.
Yeah, I thought in that last lap you might just send it on the Ferrari guys there, but no. Uh,
Nah. Would have been a crash and not clean. I did not want to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we will see you in that final race of the season next week at Abu Dhabi. But if not, that was a fine performance with which to see out your season 20 reserve performances. So thanks very much and GG, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you back on track soon.
Yep.
Yep. Just for a moment there, mid yep. Let's see, we've got Christian and we've got Janab, so we're bringing Christian. Yeah, Christian, like what can we say? It's not gonna, this championship's looking like it's leaning your direction, but it's not being straightforward, this one, hasn't it? You had that issue in Abu Dhabi, and now this disconnection in this race. When you were looking pretty solid out there, yeah, just tell us about that disconnect and how it affected you mentally.
Mentally, well, right now pretty depressing. I wasn't even mad when it happened. I was just I was more surprised than everything because it's never happened to me before. So yeah, it was something.
Yeah,
I just really love this game. It's so amazing.
Yeah, as we all
Jesus.
do. We share your love for the game.
Uh,
I do want to ask you, like that final phase of the race, obviously Persigilli went on to his fresh mediums, was pretty rapid. But he did pick up damage in the last few laps there. Were you aware of that? Was someone telling you what was happening with Persigilli, or uh were you just assuming that he had no issues up front there?
I was just assuming he had no issues. I was on my own. Yeah,
Yeah, so
pretty boring.
yeah, he had a bit of front wing damage, and we were thinking that might impact on him, and that after he passed you, obviously on those fresh mediums he had the superior grip, but with that front wing damage, we're expecting to maybe see him fall off, and maybe you might be able to get him towards the end of the race. You did close in on him quite a bit, so obviously you were pushing quite hard at the end of the race there, but yeah, all is not lost. You're still leading the drivers' championship, but it looks like it is going to go to the wire. How are you feeling about that final race then in Abu Dhabi?
Uh, I hate Abu Dhabi, so this is a great way to finish the season, I guess. Uh, just cross fingers for that I don't disconnect again, and then finish wherever I need to finish.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we very much look forward to that. Hopefully, your teammate will be involved in that one as well, so maybe you can encourage him via DMs, whatever. I'm sure it'd be
Uh,
good to have backup for that race. But yeah, didn't go your way today, Christian, but still solid performance there. You brought home some points as well, and as I say, still leading the drivers' championship. So look forward to seeing how it all goes down in Abu Dhabi for round 10. You defend the title right to the wire. So be sure to tune in for that one, everybody. And yeah, thanks for joining us in the comms booth once again, Christian.
Thank you for having me.
and we're on to our last interview. It's P11 runner on track, Maradona right now, 80% champ, but also we know him as Janab. You raced last season in the Haas, isn't that right? Or was it the season before?
Yeah, I think it was last season.
Yeah, with John D, yeah?
Yonti.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss those days, man. Interviews. Something else. But yeah, we saw you like whenever I saw you reserve today, I was quite surprised. Haven't seen you on track for a while, but Brazil, I think it's a good track for you, and you were hopeful of a good result today.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get a race in this season. And there were a few races where I planned to do that, but then I was like ill on the day or stuff like that. And I didn't prepare for this race at all. I just kind of spontaneously signed up like half an hour ago. And yeah, it was quite nice. Like, it was actually fun. Obviously, the result wasn't that great, but it was fun driving again. And yeah, might do it in Abu Dhabi next week as well. I don't know. Depends on the day. But happy to get the race in.
Yeah, it was great to see you on track again, and it seemed like you had pace. So you know, on Collie, obviously it was wet conditions, so um, yeah, it was a bit of a challenge, but you seem to be doing all right, and even on the race, didn't seem to be too bad. But obviously, we had that safety car mixed up the strategies a little bit, and it was P11 in the end. So what was like kind of memorable moments for you in that race?
Definitely in qualifying, crashing into an invisible wall. I was just talking about it with Max. He didn't know that existed, and I've also never heard of that. In the corner where Verstappen spun in 2016, like I just put the left wheel over the curb as you normally do, and yeah, bounced back onto the middle of the straight basically.
Okay.
But I didn't DNF or whatever. That was obviously a bit surprising, memorable. And yeah, also a bit annoying that I didn't get the P10. I felt I had better pace definitely in the end with the tires, but I made two big mistakes. I was basically doing another Verstappen reference to Verstappen drift from practice in 2016 or 2015. It must have been like in the penultimate corner. I was about to gap, Kevin, and I did that. So yeah, definitely those were the moments that were memorable.
And did you record your race? Because I'm just wondering. I want to see that, uh, that visible wall bug that you just talked about.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
R.I.P.
I will also upload it on Tier 1 General.
Nice. Look forward to that. Well, yeah. Well, hopefully we will see you in the final race. It was great to see you back on track. I was getting all kinds of nostalgia there, and yeah, great to have you in the comms booth once again. But yeah, hopefully we will see you in that final race, and appreciate your time today on the interview.
Yep, thanks for hosting. See you guys.
All right, that's it. We have one last point of business, Ice, and that is driver of the day. We've quite a few to choose from today. What do you reckon?
Oh my word, that's very difficult to pick.
Put you on the spot there a bit.
Have to really think about it, but who could we really pick for driver of the day here? There's a lot of good drives. I think Max might be a pretty good call. A lot of Ferrari boys also did a very good job. Maybe would it be really boring if we gave it to the race winner again, because Touche kind of yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Who do you think?
I mean,
Very difficult to call.
Look at this. Persigilli, P11 to
Yeah.
P5 with that front wing damage.
Yeah, it could be a good call there, yeah.
Pep Madman, P15 to P7. Aston Martin, great haul of points for him. Even McKenna, P2, he started P7. Worked well with his teammate there.
Fighting for the win.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm even F Dorsey, like he started P1, finished P4, but to hold on to McKenna all the risks. Yeah, maybe
we could put it to a vote for the drivers this time around, something like Touche, McKenna, and Persigilli maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll defer to the drivers for that tough decision. But yeah, that sets us up nicely for the final race. Persegili could have picked
Yeah,
up.
and this
Yeah, go ahead, Ash.
yeah, this result means that the gap is going to be 15 points between Christian and Persegili. So Christian 15 points ahead of Persegili for the final race. And then these two guys are basically on their own. Makender, I think, technically can still overtake Persegili actually with the result today, but Makender is out of the championship fight for sure. But yeah, then on the constructor side, this definitely means that Ferrari has now secured the constructors with Makender and Touge claiming the title season 20 for SLR Tier 1.
Yeah, and that's all I asked for, to go down to the wire, and we are doing that. So thank you to the drivers for that, and
Yeah, so
Christian.
Christian, as long as he finishes in the top 5, I think, in the final race, he will clinch the title this
Wow.
season as well.
Wow, yeah, so it's definitely favoring Christian, but anything can happen. We saw today disconnected. Previously had an issue where he had a crazy lockup that he couldn't explain. Another technical issue. So you'd like to think that that's not going to decide, like something like that's going to decide the championship, but Codemasters absolutely brilliant. We don't know what's going to be happening as we go to the final race, and that is next week. Same time, same place. Well, not same place, but virtually a different place.
Yep.
Yeah, Ice has been great doing comms once again, and hopefully we'll get to it in 1 week's time together. And yeah, until then, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you at Abu Dhabi for the grand finale. All the best. Bye bye.